Hi there, my name is Bandy and this is my channel BandysBooks, and today we're here to talk about some new releases that are going to be coming out in September. They're books that I'm super excited about. Now, if you're really interested in new releases, this is just 10 of the ones that I'm excited about. You can check out some of the other books that will be releasing in September up here in my Book of the Month prediction video. Obviously, with so many amazing books coming out, I have to split it into a couple of videos, so make sure you check that one out for some other great recommendations. We're gonna start by talking about books releasing on September 5th. The first one is A Beautiful Rival by Gill. This currently has a 4.19 and about 103 ratings on Goodreads so far. This book follows Elizabeth Arden and Helena Rubinstein as the two of them try to corner the cosmetic industry. Each founds a cosmetic empire founded on grit and determination, and yet the two of them become locked in a feud that spans 3 continents, 2 world wars, and the Great Depression. Nothing is off limits in their battle to corner the cosmetic market. I'm a big lover of historical fiction, and of course most historical fiction covers wars and battles, so I think it's super interesting when books pop up that cover historical pieces that have nothing to do with war. In this case, we have 2 female entrepreneurs who create these magnificent business empires, and they have a long-standing feud with each other. I think this sounds super interesting. This book is definitely based on reality, and I can't wait to dive into it. Next up, we're going to be talking about books releasing on September 12th, and we have A Market of Dreams and Destiny by Galey. This currently has a 4.28 and about 29 ratings on Goodreads so far. So this book immediately caught my attention because of its beautiful cover and because it's described as being for fans of Neverwhere and The Night Circus. Now, I loved both of these books, and I'm a little bit nervous by the comparison because both Neverwhere and The Night Circus are amazing reads, and I feel like those are big shoes to fill. This book takes place beneath the Covent Gardens in London, where an undermarket exists. Everything has a price, everything can be sold. Derry, a market servant, sees his chance to buy his freedom when he crosses paths with a runaway princess who is determined to sell her destiny. He's also determined to save Owen, the love of his life, whose owners are using the market for nefarious things. The cost of it all might just change the destiny of London forever. So this description sounds amazing. Again, like I said, I'm a little bit nervous about the comparisons, but if it manages to pull off the same vibes as The Night Circus and Neverwhere, I will be extremely happy. I think I will definitely be picking this book up. Now we're moving on to September 19th, and first up we have Starter Villain by Scalzi. This currently has a 4.32 and about 349 reviews on Goodreads so far. Inheriting your uncle's supervillain business is more complicated than you might imagine. Much harder to get used to are the sentient, language-using, computer-savvy cats, and the fact that they're management. So I'm not sure what to think about this book. First of all, the cover, as you can see over here, is very eye-catching for a multitude of reasons, and the description sounds very quirky and odd. This is from the same author that wrote the Kaiju Preservation Society, which I have not personally read, but I have heard numerous amazing reviews about. So I may be giving this one a chance. This is like one of those ones that I could either really, really love, or I could see myself like not getting at all. So I think it's worth the gamble. Then we have A Study in Drowning by Reid. This currently has a 4.34 and about 761 reviews so far. Student and fantasy lover Ify wins the chance to redesign the house of her favorite late author. But the Hearth Manor is on the brink of crumbling to the sea. While there, she finds Preston, a stodgy young literature student who is determined to prove that her favorite author is a fraud. As the 2 students try to piece together this author's legacy, they find that there are dark forces at play. So Reid has previously published a couple books in the adult fantasy category, and this is her first entry into the young adult fantasy category. I have read Wolf and the Woodsman, which I really enjoyed, and I was very excited to get an ARC of this particular book. I am very much looking forward to reading it in the weeks coming. I enjoy Reid's writing, and I think that this one is going to be a kind of spooky mystery, a little bit dark. I'm very much looking forward to getting into it. Then we have Bright Young Women by Knoll. This currently has a 4.03 and about 389 reviews on Goodreads so far. January 1978 in Florida. Pamela survives an attack by a serial killer that kills 2 of her sorority sisters and maims 2 others. In Seattle, Tina searches for answers after her best friend Ruth suddenly goes missing. Tina's search brings her to Florida, where she is on a head-on collision with Pamela. This one sounds really interesting to me. It is based on a real story, and I'm curious to see how the author is going to take some of those elements from reality and incorporate them into a fictionalized story. And I'm really curious to see how she's going to keep the tension, since we kind of know at least a summary of the events that are going to occur. And my final September 19th selection is Black Sheep by Rachel Harrison. This currently has a 4.24 and about 213 reviews on Goodreads so far. Vesper left her staunchly religious family and never looked back. That is until an invitation to her favorite cousin's wedding arrives in the mail. When Vesper's homecoming exhumes a terrifying secret, she's forced to reckon with her family's beliefs and her own crisis in faith. This book sounds super interesting to me. I love the concept of having escaped from a possibly cult-like upbringing and then having to return to visit the family. I am curious what terrifying secrets are going to be exhumed. I feel like there's enough just having to return to a place that you left with a lot of animosity. I think this is going to be a perfect spooky season read. Now we're moving on to September 26th, and our first book is The Pomegranate Gate by Ariel Kaplan. This currently has a 4.10 and about 160 ratings on Goodreads so far. This is going to be the first book in the Mirror Realm cycle. Toba Perez can speak but not shout, walk but not run. She can write in multiple languages but has no formal education. Naftali Kreskes can see things that are not real. When the queen of the Sepharad orders all Jews to convert, Toba, Naftali, and thousands of other Jews are forced to flee. Toba is accidentally separated from the caravan into the magical realm of the Maziks, terrible beings with immense power, and Naftali is intent on rescuing Toba. So this sounds like a really interesting start to a new fantasy series. I love that this is going to incorporate magical, powerful beings. I think it's really cool that it is incorporating Jewish culture. I actually, as of yet, have not really seen too many fantasy books set in Jewish culture and heritage, and so I think this is going to be a very unique aspect to this story. I'm really looking forward to giving this one a try. And then we have A British Girl's Guide to Hurricanes and Heartbreak by Laura Taylor Namey. This currently has a 4.31 and about 58 ratings on Goodreads so far. After the death of her mother, Flora feels untethered. She escapes to Miami without telling anyone. She ends up a part of Miami Cuban teen influencer Baz Martin's world. But Flora feels more conflicted than ever when she begins to see her best friend Gordon in a new light. This is a long-awaited follow-up to A Cuban Girl's Guide to Tea and Tomorrow, and I really enjoyed that book. It is in the young adult category, but I think the writing in it was done really well. It didn't feel childish or immature. In fact, I felt like we were dealing with a character who was going through something very realistic in a pretty realistic way. I think that this book is going to kind of touch on similar themes, but instead of having a Cuban American fleeing to London, we have a English person fleeing to Miami. I am very much looking forward to seeing what this author has come up with for this follow-up. And then we have Land of Milk and Honey by C. Pam Zhang. This currently has a 4.23 and about 111 ratings on Goodreads so far. In a dying world where food crops are rapidly disappearing, a chef escapes her dying career to take a job on a decadent mountaintop colony. It is the world of the global elite, one that reawakens the chef to the pleasures of touch, taste, and her own body. So I don't even really know what to think about this book. I am excited because the main character is a chef. I think it's really interesting to toy with the concept of being a chef in a world where crops are failing and people are not eating out. I also think that it's very interesting that this is going to explore the senses and the reawakening of those senses. I have a feeling that this is going to have a lot of political commentary, and I'm really, really interested to dive in. This is maybe my most anticipated out of the 10 that I'm mentioning here. And finally, we have The Unsettled by Ayana Mathis. This currently has a 4.03 and about 31 ratings on Goodreads so far. 1980s Philadelphia. From the moment Ava and her son Toussaint arrive at the Glen Avenue family shelter, Ava is already planning a way out. She is repulsed by the squalid conditions and determined to save her son, as well as saving herself from the complicated past that led them there. So this book also sounds really interesting. I love a book that explores like family drama and people's history and trauma. I think this book is going to delve deeply into that. We don't know why this family has ended up at this shelter, only that they're there and the conditions are no good. So I expect that this is going to kind of delve into what led up to this. I'm thinking maybe like non-linear. I really look forward to getting into this one. So those are the 10 new releases that I'm really excited about in September. If you liked the video, hit the thumbs up, comment down below, and let me know what new release you're looking forward to. And again, if you want to check out some more new releases, make sure you look for my book of the month prediction video predicting the books for September. There is a whole bunch of new releases in that video as well. And if you're not already subscribed to this channel, you know what to do. Hit the subscribe button down below, as well as the notification bell so that you never miss a video. And that way we can see each other again soon. Thanks so much for joining. Bye.